Ag-amazing day to all. This is Teacher Dan Rogayan, your ag-amazing guru, and welcome to another episode of our Let Review session. This time, we will be focusing on Gen Ed English. Samahan ninyo akong muli para magsagot ng 10 questions regarding Gen Ed English. And I hope you have prepared your pen and paper with you para sabayan ninyo akong magsagot. Okay, so simulan na natin. Of course, my fervent prayer to all of you is that you will all pass the board exam. Walang simple, patuloy lang tayong magtiwala at patuloy tayong mangarap. Alright, let's start. First question. We listen to a loquacious speaker. The capitalized word means blank. A, quiet. B, simple. C, verbose. Lousy. What is the answer? Future LPT, pag nakita natin yung word na loquacious, that is verbose o maraming sinasabi, madaldal, talkative. So loquacious is actually an adjective which means talkative or chatty, especially of persons given to excess conversation. Usually yung ating mga research speakers sa mga seminars, trainings, workshops, conferences must be loquacious enough to share information to its target audience para nang sa ganun we can get or obtain a lot of information. So bahagi ito ng ating mga common vocabulary words na pwede nyong makita sa inyong cortex. And I'm going to share with you some more words no in this slide. So let me just have the laser. So for the take note ng mga persons, so take note of this, no? Mga persons, gaya ng sinasabi lagi ng mga Gen Z. Kapag nakita natin yung word na profanity in the board exam, the synonym is obscenity. Usually, mga profanity words, so mga bad, no, mga dirty words. Profanity, obscenity. Transmute, synonym nito is change. Baguhin, no, palitan. Transmute, change. Usually, we transmute grades, di ba? From, for example, numerical to percentage. No? Usually for our grading or assessment. Aplomb means composure. No? For example, our composure as a speaker or as a teacher whenever we talk no, to our students, our aplomb. Apocalyptic is prophetic. No? Apocalyptic, pag nakita sa board exam, that means prophetic. Rancor, that means bitterness. Yung rancor, that our emotion, no? Feeling of rancor. The feeling of bitterness, lalo kapag tayo ay ginos no, ng ating mga kung sino man yun. And then impertinent are is actually irrelevant. Say for example, hindi siya makabuluhan sa kaso or hindi siya connected doon sa usapan or issue. So that I think is an impertinent to the issue that we're talking. I think that is irrelevant and you should not include that. No? So kagaya diba sa mga korte, no? If we think that the claim no of the other side is irrelevant, we can object. No? Kaya sasabihin ng judge whether the motion is the objection if it's either objection overruled or objection sustained. And next, who was the most popular and influential writer during the Middle English literature and considered the first great English poet? A. Nathaniel Hawthorne. B. Leo Tolstoy. C. David Herbert Lawrence. Or letter D. Geoffrey Chaucer. What is the answer? Future LPTs. No? The first great English poet is none other than Geoffrey Chaucer. So Geoffrey Chaucer is considered as the first English poet known for his famous work, The Canterbury Tales. Diba? So Geoffrey Chaucer is an English author, poet, philosopher, and bureaucrat, courtier, and diplomat, one of the greatest narrative poet of English, and considered to be the father of the English poetry. Made a crucial contribution to English literature in using English at a time when much poetry was still written in Anglo-Norman or Latin. Okay, some of his famous works, I mentioned this already, the Canterbury Tales and the Book of Duchess and other poems. Right? So the rest of the items, the options, we have Nathaniel Hawthorne. So pag nakita sa board exam, ano yung famous na sinulat niya? The Scarlet Letter. Nathaniel, The Scarlet Letter. Leo Tolstoy, no? Tinatanong din, madalas si Leo Tolstoy, God sees the truth but wait. So siya yung sumulat nito, no? God sees the truth but wait. And Anna Karenina. So pag nakita sa board exam, sino sumulat ng Anna Karenina? That's correct. Leo Tolstoy. Sino sumulat ng God sees the truth but waits? Yes, that's Leo Tolstoy also. And then, of course, David Herbert Lawrence. Pag nakita niyo sa board exam, the famous work, one of the famous works of David Herbert Lawrence, that is Sons and Lovers. Okay? Sons and Lovers, David Herbert Lawrence. Next question, I find myself drowning in my own tears. This is an example of blank. A, simile, B, irony, C, metaphor, D, hyperbole. What is the answer in our question? Of course, that is hyperbole. So when we say hyperbole, that is an exaggeration. So tignan nyo naman sa ating sentence, nakita ko ang sarili kong nalulunod sa aking sariling luha. That possible, of course, the author or the speaker is exaggerating. And one of our figure of speech, okay, figures of speech is hyperbole. And when we say hyperbole, no, it is the art of telling the idea that is meant to be explained by making it larger or smaller or exaggeration. Example, gaya ng nakita natin kanina, and another example, the wave of the sea did not go as far as my very, very exag. Ayan. So, mga kaibigan, yung mga exag, mga hyperbole natin, mga kaibigan. Okay? Similarly, no? Smile na ilagay. Similarly to, it is the fact that the powerless of two objects with various relations between them is compared to the strong. So, usually we use here the like, the words like, or as. So, when dissolving like soap and water, you are smooth as the cotton. Metaphor, on the other hand, is a concept based on analogy, based on metaphorical meaning. So it's usually a direct comparison. So pag nakita sa board exam, yung mga direct comparison without using the like, the words like or as, metaphor. Okay, John is a goat. Diba? Kapag simile to, John is like a goat. No? Dahil nga metaphor siya, no words like or as, direct comparison, John is a goat. Siya ay isang kampe. Okay? Then personification, of course, we call personification to give a human property to non-human beings. It comes from the word person. No? The root word of personification is person. For the review ang mga person. Okay? Person, we're trying to, make an inanimate object as if may buhay siya. Example, a rain starts or thinner, then look at the joy in the soil. The birds told me that you're going to distant lands. That beautiful sound of mountain has traveled all around. Yeah, so we're trying to personify this inanimate object. So, binubuhay natin siya. In Filipino, simile ay pagtutulad. Okay, simile ay pagtutulad. Tulad na, gaya ng. Ang iyong ganda ay gaya ng isang engkantada. Diba? Metaphor is pagwawangis. Direktang paghahambing. Ikaw ay isang bulaklak sa tag-ulan. Ayun. Diba? So you are trying to compare it without using tulad or gaya. Personification is pagsasatao. Sumasayaw ang mga puno habang umaawit ang langit. Diba? You're trying to personify. Sinasatao mo. No? Nagbibigay ka ng katangian ng tao sa mga bagay na wala namang buhay. Or, hindi naman tao. No? And then, hyperbole is pagmamalabis. Ayun. So, pagmamalabis is we are exaggerating. For example, hindi mahulugang karayo ang tao sa liwasang bayan. So, ibig sabihin, napakaraming tao sa plaza or sa liwasang bayan. Again, this is part of our figure of speech. Okay, another Filipino author Zalweta da Costa said in one of his poems that the Filipinos are like the Molave. What figure of speech was used by the author? A. Simile, B. Metaphor, C. Personification, D. Hyperbole. What is the answer? The Filipinos are like the Molave. Of course, that is simile. Nakita natin, no, yung word na like. So, kapag may nakita tayong word na like or as, no, so that is actually simile o pagtutulad. Okay? Ang mga Pilipino ay gaya ng puno ng Molawi. Okay, Molawi in Filipino is Molawin. So, sabi nga rito, simile is poetically explaining how things are like other things. Sabi nito, an example, just like a prayer, your voice can take me there. Just like a muse to me, you are a mystery. So, repetitive words here like, no? So, we can see the words like, and that is simile. So, pag nakita sa board exam, like, simile po yun. Okay? The blissful sun smiled at us. Personification, simile, onomatopoeia, or apostrophe. Of course, the blissful sun smiled at us. That is personification. So, pinorsanify natin yung sun. No? Ang haring araw ay gumiti sa atin. So, personification of pagsasatao. So, we are actually attributing we are actually putting human attributes to inanimate objects. So, pag sinabing personification of figurative language that attributes human characteristics, emotion and behavior to animals and inanimate objects or ideas. Example, the clumsy turtle enjoys the sun. Ayun, enjoys. Nag-i-enjoy ang turtle. Death robbed her of the chance at happiness. So, ninakaw ng kamatayan ang kanyang pagkakataong maging masaya. Okay, happiness with S. You can hear the trees whisper in the dark na uulinigan mo ang mga punong kahoy na bumubulong sa karimlan. Diba? And the stars dance in the midnight sky. Sumayaw ang mga tala sa rurok ng gabi. O, diba? So, these are actually pagsasatao in Filipino or personality. I could have joined the Taal Volcano Outreach Project if I blanked in the country at that time. A will be, B where, C am, D was. Okay, what is the answer, teachers? Of course, that is where. So, nakasali sana ako no, sa outreach project sa Taal Volcano kung ako ay nasa bansa ng mga panahon yon. So, kung lang, no, na ang condition ay kung nandun ka, no, if I were. So, that is the correct answer. Hindi pwedeng was because I here the pronoun I here is considered as plural. Okay? So, I just to rationalize, no, if I were you, no, if I was you, no, so that is ungrammatical. So if I were you, so you imagine, meaning you imagine yourself in the position or situation of the other person. It is used to give advice. So for example, if I were you, I will take the board exam and then later on submit my papers for ranking. Parang ganon. So, pwedeng if I were you, I would study more. I wouldn't do that. I would go to the doctor if I were you as early as now, no? Especially kunyari may sakit. I wouldn't go there if I were you. So this is actually some examples of the use of if I were you. Okay? So why if I were not if I was? This is the subjunctive mood which is used for hypothetical situation. So it is a condition which is contrary to fact, the fact is I am not. So it to be used where for all the subjects in the subjunctive. So if I were you, I wouldn't need that. I would be careful if I. This is just some examples that you can find in your words. Okay. What is written as a series of letters? A. Essay, B. Epistolary, C. Epitaph, D. Extant. Okay, so ito, favorite din to sa board exam. So pag nakita natin what is written as a series of letters, Series of letters, epistolary. Series of letters, epistolary. Okay? Gaya ng Urbana at Felisa. Okay? So, Urbana at Felisa, isang halimbawa ng epistolary literature. Okay? So, some of the words, no, gaya ng sabi natin, epistolary is pertaining to letters or epistles, no? Epitaph, na isa sa mga options is actually an inscription on or at a tomb or a grave. Usually, ito yung mga nakalagay doon sa mga, ano ba yun, niche, grave, ano ba yun, sa Filipino, parang sa lapida, ayun, yung mga epitaph, usually ito sa mga, sa America, yeah, usually they put epitaph, no, an inscription sa tomb or grave. Essay, of course, alam natin yan, sanaysay in Filipino, short form of literature, literary composition based on a single subject. So it could be an explanatory essay, an exploratory essay, an informative essay, argumentative essay. Okay? Extant, which means inexistent or still existing. Others still extant, for example, extant literature halves, for example, of the uh, 20th century, where you can find more, you can find a lot of books. Parang ganun. It's still in existence, no? Or it existed. That means extant. Okay? So, an example of epitaph, these are some, no? Ito kay Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. So, this is basically the epitaph. No? It's an inscription in a tomb or a okay? Si Robert Lee Frost, known for his famous poem, The Road Not Taken. The Road Not Taken. So I had a lover's quarrel with the So very short epic. Okay? So next, your performance blank or expectations. Good job. A, enabled. B, exempt. C, excelled. D, exceeded. What is the answer for this question? Pag nakita sa board exam, exceeded. Your performance exceeded our expectations. This is the best answer here. This is the correct answer. Hindi siya enabled. No? Your performance enabled our expectations. That is not so relevant. Except our expectations, lalong hindi. Excelled our expectations, not really. So it's really more of exceeded, lalagpasan. When you say exceeded kasi, you went beyond what is allowed or stipulated by a set of limits, especially if one's authority, or set of standards. Nalagpasan mo, yung performance mo, nalagpasan ng iyong performance yung aming expectation. Okay, so you have exceeded our expectation, and for that, good job. And I hope you will exceed my expectations and you will all pass or even top the board examination for professional. Okay? Next question. The department report was erroneous. Erroneous means blank. Erroneous means blank. A, digressive. B, confused. C, impenetrable. D, incorrect. Okay? What is the answer? Of course, that is incorrect. So the root word of erroneous is error. If there are errors, there are incorrections, there are mistakes. So the right answer here is incorrect. Okay, so incorrect, erroneous, or wrong. Example, employers sometimes may make erroneous assumptions. Sometimes na in the board exam, do not overthink. So tignan ninyo yung mga word, the root word, that will actually help you better understand the synonym which is being asked by the question. Okay? Another question. Give blank the book. A, mine. B, we. C, his. D, them. Pwede nyo siyang i-trial and error. Give mine the book. Parang, it doesn't sound right. Give me the book lalo. Give his the book. Give them the book. So you can do that if you are not so certain. Pero kapag unang tingin mo, alam mo na agad, of course, that's them. Give them the book. Oh, that sounds right and it's grammatic. Okay? Yung his kasi dapat, siya, tawag dito, may object. Give him the book. But of course, them is the best answer. Okay? Ayan. So, this is yung them natin nandito, no? Third person and thing, no? So, kung babalikan natin, the thing here is the book, no? You give them the book. So, it's an object pronoun. Okay, them. Okay. So, basically, we have subject pronouns, object pronouns, possessive adjective pronouns, possessive pronouns, and reflexive pronouns. So, these are the different pronouns. In Filipino, we call pronouns as panghalili. Yung mga salitang humahalili sa pangalan ng tao, hayop, bagay, pangyayari, at mga entity. Okay? So that these are pronouns. Okay? Okay, that ends no our rationalization for this episode. Nakasagot na naman tayo ng sampung tanong. And usually these are commonly asked questions in your board licensure examination. Kaya take note no kung pwedeng nyo namang balikan yung video natin no para ma-master nyo yung mga tanong na to. And before I end, I'd like to remind you, hey future LPTs, keep going. Have to keep going. You have to keep reviewing. You have to keep studying. Study smarter. More than studying harder, you must study smart. For you to be able to pass, to ace, and even top the board exam. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. So maraming salamat till our next review session.